is a topic that has crossed my mind. More recently, in the last couple of weeks, I have done this specific thing, but it had been a while previous to this past couple of weeks that I had done this thing. And what I am speaking of is wholesale. Now, let me put it out there, I'm an overthinker. I'm an overachiever. It's got to be perfect, you know. I'm that girl. She is me. So we're gonna create a small little story time. So here we go. A couple of weeks ago, I did some research, and as I always do before I just randomly make purchases, I've learned in the past about just randomly doing things. Wholesale. Now, let me just say this with 10 toes down, with my whole ass chest. I support small because I am small. Okay. With that being said, let me be real. I have purchased wholesale. 90% of what I do is me. It really is me. 10% wholesale, but it's not very consistent. But here are some of the pros. There are going to be some cons, not many, but there are some pros. And if I happen to look down, I've written some things just because I want to stay on track. The pro for me stands out more than any on this list is I can't make everything. I need help. Let me just be real. I am new to this. This month will make 5 years for me in business. Not all 5 years have I been good at what I've been doing. Someone asked me, how long have you been doing this? And I'm like, okay, I've been doing this for about 5 years, but I've only been good at it for like 2. Okay, so I need help. I'm just going to be real with myself. I can't make everything. Okay. With that being said, this is where wholesale comes into play. But it also is a question is it cheating? I say that to say this. We all need help in whatever it is that we create, whatever it is that we design. Hence, those we are hiring signs. Okay. So with that being said, I can't make everything. I work an 8-hour job. I'm a caretaker. I'm a mom. I'm a grandmom. And so my plate is very full. It really is. So there's not enough time in the day for me just to do everything and to be able to get the proper amount of sleep. I have to be in the right headspace to create. Okay. With that being said, there are people out there who are skilled. They're artisans who are skilled at what they do. And that's why I want to create community. That's another pro for me, being able to create community because, again, I am small. I support small. I know what it's like to be able to wake up and you've got an order needs to be fulfilled. It's almost like when that person places that order, it's validation. They've done their research. They found you out. They decided that they wanted to make that investment. And here we are. So again, if it means that I have to get someone to help me create amazing pieces for you, I don't think it's cheating at all. Because like I said, I don't have time to take classes. I don't have the money to put into it because money goes into other parts of my business. So again, that is a pro for me. I touched on this a little bit earlier in what I was saying is that it creates community. That vendor that you're working with, you've done your research. It's almost like you're stalking. It feels kind of awkward, but it feels like you're stalking. You've spent weeks, almost months, finding someone who mimics your brand voice. Now understand, these people that I select, it's my eye, it's my choice, it's my quality check, it's my brand standards. So I'm not just bringing anything willy-nilly into to the fold, but I think being honest with your tribe, with your community, brings value, adds value to what you do. Also, too, whether it's handpicked or it's handmade, I stand 10 toes down in what I offer to my tribe. And I think my tribe actually can agree with me on this. I stand 10 toes down. I even, as an example, I made something and she didn't know who specifically it was. And when I posted a picture on my thread, on my social media thread, she's like, oh, funny that you would post this up. This is what I need from you. If you can do this, absolutely I can. You come to my house, you come to my studio, I can fix this for you. So, my people will tell you I stand by my brand. I say that, like I said, with my whole chest. I am small. And so I depend upon my community to communicate with me and to actually support me. The next thing that I could think of is that when you work with a specific vendor, the more that you support them, you make money. I make money. It's all good. But then you become so much so a friend, we'll use that loosely, that, hey, they're sending you emails first to say, hey, here's what's coming up in this newest collection. Would it be something that would fit in your collection, your upcoming collection? So there are so many pros to this that it was like, why am I really sweating the small stuff? I'm overthinking. Here I go. I'm overthinking. But here are a couple of cons in this scenario. If you've not done your research and you go by the pictures, you can be got. Now, I'm not saying that, you've done your research, you find pictures and it's foolproof. It's not. It's not. Okay, I've been got. I have definitely been got. But there are some instances where, you do your research and the pictures don't match the content. And when they send it, you open the box, you're excited and you're like, okay, what is this? Y'all playing, right? Y'all playing in my face, right? But if you don't read the small or the fine print, you find yourself in a situation where you've purchased a lot of it and you're stuck with it because the color is not right, the sizing is not right, the product just doesn't meet the standard. It just doesn't make the cut. And so now you're stuck with it. You either have to gift it or you end up donating it. You can't make any money off of it. You can't wear all of them. And the person that you are wouldn't allow you to give it to someone that that you wouldn't wear it. So again, that's a con. That definitely is a con. The other con is, like I said, if you don't read the fine print, no exchanges, no returns, especially if you do a large quantity of something. That also brings me to another thing is that mass-produced items. I'm not looking for mass-produced items. I understand that the world that we live in is trending. You go to the social media and you look for trending topics. The world is trending. And so when you purchase mass-produced items, you take that chance that, on your off day, you go to a market because that's trending too. You go to a market any given weekend and you see the same thing that you've purchased on Ken or Marie or Jonathan or Mary's table. You're not unique in that instance. You're definitely not unique. So I definitely recommend doing your research. Like I said, it's not foolproof, but it does help. I've spent months on months before I make the decision on whether I want to commit to this or if I do not want to commit to it. But more recently, as I mentioned, this is something that I delved in because, again, I couldn't do it. Now, here's another thing that crossed my mind as I was getting ready to wrap up this video is majority of my items are either gold, bronze, or an antique bronze or a copper. I don't offer anything, or I haven't, let's put it that way. I haven't offered anything to my girlies who love silver, hence where this came from. And this is why it raised a topic of conversation, is that I don't have anything for my girlies who love silver. Not everybody loves gold. Gold doesn't always accentuate the skin tone. I get it. But I didn't want to actually miss a beat. I didn't want to skip a beat. I wanted to be able to provide something that still stayed on brand, but also gave an opportunity for someone who has never purchased from me, but they just didn't see silver in the rotation. So there are so many pros to buying wholesale, and I put this out there because I'm thinking to myself, again, I can't stress it enough. Am I overthinking? Is it just me that thinks like this? I'd love to see what my fellow artisans are thinking. Drop me some comments in the boxes below and let's have this conversation. If you found value in anything that was said today, definitely subscribe, share, tell a friend, bring a friend. Let's be friends. And we will talk later. See you later. Bye.